My topic tonight is risk taker. Okay. How many of you out there know what kind of job I have? Just put your hand out. Anybody knows what type of job I have? Okay. All right. So if you don't know what type of job I have, put your hand out. Okay. Amen. God bless you. Okay, we're going to work on it. Do I pack shelves? No? Okay, I don't pack shelves. Do I do accounts in the office? Am I accountant? No? Okay. Do I sell cars? Am I a cars? Not that. No. My job is a job that entails taking risk every time I leave the place of my employment. I haven't said anything yet. Whenever there's some kind of trouble or incident, my job is called to the rescue. Have you figured it out yet? Anybody figure out where I work yet? My job is called to the rescue. Okay. No, I'm not a policeman. I am a firefighter. Okay, I am a firefighter. So, what is it that firefighters do? We are usually called when people don't know what to do. We are people that have to make decisions in the nick of time and make it work. We have to make our decisions work, no matter what we make, or get someone out of distress. So if it's an accident, if it's a fire, even if it's a medical, someone's hurt, anything, they call the fire department, they call the ambulance. We usually come and do what we have to do to try to make sure. So we're trained for everything. We are here to make an unstable situation stable. Whenever the alarm at my job goes in, we never have a clue as to what we're responding to. Okay? An announcement is made to give us the location of the incident and the nature of the call. So we might get the alarm go off and say, we have a 1021 Elbow Beach down at the beach house. So you hear that 1021 to us is a fire alarm. So we know that there's a fire alarm going off at the beach house. But just because it's a fire alarm doesn't mean that we can't prepare for a fire. Because there are many false alarms, it doesn't mean that one time we're going to come is actually going to be a fire. So the first risk we take is responding to the call in that truck, trying to maneuver through traffic. Depending who's driving is the type of shape that I'll get there in. So we have those drivers that are good drivers, and they got those drivers that are not so good drivers. So let's say that. After that, we look at the scene, and we have to see what has to be done. So just because I am the supervisor in charge of my crew doesn't mean I have all the answers. The same way in the church. Just because our pastor is a pastor doesn't mean the pastor has all the answers. We are a body. And we have limbs, we have all different parts. The head is the part that actually generated it all, but everything else works together. It all works together for good. Now, have you ever taken risks? Okay, anybody taken risks before? Let's put your hands up. Anybody ever taken risks? All right, okay. A lot of you being real moderate. Okay, don't forget you're in church. Okay, shame on you. Have you ever flown on an airplane? Oh, everybody. Oh, you're taking a risk. Okay. Have you ever been on a roller coaster? Yeah? Oh, yeah, you're taking a risk. Anything that's man-made is a risk. Anything can fail. So those things are risks. So everyone in this place is a risk taker. We have all had some form of taking risk one way or another. This Bible story here depicts a woman that had been dealing with an issue for lots of years, and she finally has decided to take a risk. This risk ended up with positive results. She knew there only was one man that can fix her issue, and that man was Jesus. He can fix any issue that you have. So why don't you journey with me as we explore the text in Mark 5 as we look onto these 3 points. Point number 1, the reason. The reason. Point number 2, the risk. The risk. And point number 3, the result. The result. So point number 1, the reason. Verse 25. And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood for 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse. The verse mentioned a certain woman, meaning known for sure. So everybody knew this woman. And I'm sure if you look around Bermuda, it's a lot of certain women and certain men that people are so familiar with that we know about. So, established beyond doubt. That's what certain is talking about with this woman. This means everyone in the town knew her situation. How many of us know about people's situations? How many of us know about people's situations? Everybody knows about everyone else's situation. So let's try to put ourselves in a position. This is a woman that has a bleeding issue. Let's think about this. When a woman has her monthly cycle, it is made to cleanse her system to start the reproduction process again. Now, you think I'm Dr. Woods. I'm talking about this type of stuff. I'm just a young man. So this means that she can get pregnant after her cycle. These menstruals usually last anywhere to 3 to 5 days, sometimes 7 days. Now, here is a woman that has never been named, probably for a reason. There might have been a few Bermudians there. As I did some studying, the woman was known to be a Gentile, a native of Caesarea Philippi. She had to be a woman of faith, as she knew what her mission was. When I looked up the word issue of blood, I found the word chronic hemorrhage. Chronic hemorrhage. So chronic meaning persisting for a long time, a constant recurring. Hemorrhage meaning an escape of blood from ruptured blood vessels. To bleed for 12 days is a long time. 12 months is a killer. But 12 years. You know how many 12 years? 12, that's 144 months. That's 4,380 days, I believe. This woman, 4,380 calendar days that this woman was bleeding. At least, that's 12 years to the T. This meant this woman was considered unclean, and any man that went with her would be unclean for 7 days. You can find that in Leviticus 15, 25 through 27. It also tells us that after her menstrual is finished, she must count 7 days before she is ceremonially clean. Yeah, this was back in the days of old, when they had to wash their clothes, shave their heads, and bathe in water before being considered clean. When we bleed, we tend to feel weaker than normal. Some people become anemic and even possibly collapse. So, 24th of May, my wife and I was sitting out Front Street, and we was watching the parade right across from the flagpole, enjoying it. So I'm a firefighter, so I'm always on duty even when I'm off duty. So I'm sitting there trying to enjoy it, and Kathy calls me, "Oh, this lady fell down over there." So I said, all right. So I ran over to her rescue. And there was a little St. John's medic on scene and a lot of people helping. So as I spoke to the woman, I said to her, I said, "Are you okay?" She says, "What happened? Did I fall?" I said, you passed out. She says, "I don't remember. I know I started to feel weak when I was watching the parade, and I went over on the side because I started to feel weak, and I was trying to lean on the building, and she collapsed." So as I went to help her, she says, "Mom, I have cancer, I have fibroids, my menstrual's on, I'm anemic." And I said, Lord have mercy, she must have known I was preaching about the woman with the issue of blood. I said, what is going on here? So it was a setup. It was a setup from the get-up. I think Pastor sent that woman down Front Street to me to set this whole situation up. So I get this lady and I help. I said, so Kathy, my wife, sent the chair over. She says, here, take this chair. So I took the lady up and I sat in the chair. And I'm trying to help out. Now, I didn't know that her menstrual was on at that time. But I put her in the chair. And I got St. John's ambulance to respond. So they came to the scene to pick up this lady. As I took her out of the chair to walk her up to the ambulance, I looked at my chair, and there was an issue of blood. It was sitting in my chair. And I said, Lord, have mercy. And I looked to the little guy that was there, and I said, look at my chair. He says, yeah, I got it. I said, no. I said, look at my chair. Yes, I got it. I said, no, look at my chair. He says, oh. I said, so these are things. It's not so much that I was bleeding in my chair. It was what it was. It was an issue of blood. So she was bleeding out, which was causing her to feel weak and anemic, which caused her to collapse because she said she hadn't taken her medicine, and those things are not good if you don't take your medicine because you need to have certain things in your system. You need iron. You need things to actually make you stronger. So God was preparing me for this message, and I didn't even know it. So if there was a Johns Hopkins or Brigham and Women's Hospital back in the day, that's probably where this lady in the Bible went. The word says she spent all that she had on physicians, and yet was nothing bettered. This means that it didn't improve at all. We tend to spend our money on doctors to help cure us. Doctor. But if we can tune into our heavenly doctor, Jesus Christ, we can get our full healing after the professional help she sought. She still grew worse. I'm pretty sure we can all understand the reason why this woman wanted to get the issue sorted out. It's been way too long for her to be suffering, which takes me to point 2, the risk. Now, this woman knew that if she could get close enough to Jesus and touch the hem of his garment, she would be made whole. Verse 27 says, when she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind and touched his garment. And for she said, if I may touch his clothes, I shall be whole. When they mention the press behind, they're relating to a crowd, a casual collection of people, or multitude. She was willing to take a risk to get her healing, to get her breakthrough. Once we make one step, he will do the rest. Amen. We, as a people, like to be in control at all times and don't like to step out on faith. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So this lady was sitting in this crowd, or she was in this crowd, and as Jesus was walking by, he just walked by, and she just reached up and just touched him on his garment. That in itself, she took a risk to reach out and touch Jesus. That was my shortest point. Which takes me to point 3, the result. Verse 29, and straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of the plague. She hoped for her healing for 12-year infirmity, and because she had faith, she was made whole. Do we still have the faith that this certain woman had way back in the day? Do we feel as if Jesus hasn't done anything for us in the time in which we wanted? We feel as if God isn't on our side, or he doesn't really love us. I know a lot of us would have given up and said, God isn't going to heal me. This is a story that shows us that God has got this, and he will sort us out at the right time, the right place. Not our time, but God's time. We have to remember that we can't do this on our own. We have to rely on God. And it's a little song that says, you're a good, good father. The song says, It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. And I'm loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. You're a good, good Father. It's who you are. It's who you are. It's who you are. I've been loved by you. It's who I am. It's who I am. It's who I am. Said you're perfect in all of your ways. You're perfect in all of your ways. You're perfect in all of your ways. You are. Come on, says you're perfect in all of your ways. Come on, sing it. You're perfect in all of your ways. Come on. You're perfect in all of your ways. You are. All right. Thank you, Doc. Verse 30. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself the virtue had gone out of him, turned him about the press and said, who touched my clothes? Now, verse 31, and his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? Looking at this verse, we know Jesus sees and knows all. So he asked the question that the person could identify themselves. It wasn't because he didn't know who touched him. He wanted to know if you would have enough to come forth and say, it was me. He knows all. You know what it's like when you know your child done something. You know they did it. And you come home and say, who did such and such? Oh, it wasn't me. I didn't do it. I didn't. But you know, and all you're doing is waiting for your child to be honest and tell you the truth. Because you know that honesty takes you a long way, because it makes it a little easier. Because once they say, yeah, I did it, you saw that everything goes down. You didn't get as angry. You're calmed down. You feel a little bit better, and you're able to just deal with it better. I remember my mama used to do that to me. She always knew the answer before I even said what it was. Waiting to see if I'll be honest. Definitely know that mamas would like Jesus back in the day. Verse 32, and he had looked around about to see her that had done this thing. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith has made thee whole. Go in peace and be whole of thy plague. This woman was set free instantly. Instantly. You know how some of us have addictions to cigarettes? We get saved, but we're not instantly delivered from it. You still got that nicotine taste. And I've never been a smoker, so I can't even talk about it. But you still got that nicotine taste. Some people were drinkers. They still got that little taste of alcohol where I could just have a small one this time. It don't have to be nothing serious. This woman was healed instantly. She felt the plague leave her body. God can heal you instantly. No matter what you are dealing with, he can heal you instantly. All you have to do is have faith. She must have known what the result was going to be before she did it. She was a living testimony of exercising your faith. The Bible tells us, and Jesus said unto them, because of your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if he have faith as the grain of a mustard seed, yet shall say unto the mountain, remove hence to yonder place, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible for you. May God bless and continue to encourage each and every one of you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.